is a little bit more specific to social studies, but don't worry, you can still use this move anytime that you are doing writing for any type of research project. Today's move is called an educated inference. So an educated inference is what historians do when they're trying to answer an unanswerable question. Maybe you've had this experience before when you're trying to find the date that someone was born, you're trying to find a certain cause for a certain battle, or whatever. And no matter what you do, no matter what you look up, the answer just isn't there. Maybe it's just not in the primary sources. And so instead of omitting this completely from your writing, instead of leaving gaps in the story for your reader to fill in with their mind, you're going to actually make an educated inference. It's kind of like a historian's hypothesis. So it's a great way to answer this unanswerable question with the context of what you do know. Because let's face it, you've done all of this research, so why not show it off a little bit? Let's look at how Helen Roundtree makes an educated inference in her biographical encyclopedia entry on Pocahontas for Encyclopedia Virginia. Late in her childhood, Pocahontas likely joined Powhatan's large, busy household where everybody worked, even Powhatan himself. In addition to their daily jobs, members of the household labored to produce grand feasts on important occasions. Pocahontas, meanwhile, probably participated in what was traditionally women's work: farming, collecting wild foods and firewood, making utensils, and cooking and cleaning. Okay, so first let's isolate the question that Helen Roundtree is trying to answer here. She's basically trying to answer, what was Pocahontas' childhood like? And she's able to kind of glean a few different things from the sources that she has available to her, but some other things are just simply not there because, spoiler alert, there just aren't that many primary sources on Pocahontas' childhood. And so Roundtree does two really key things in order to make this educated inference work. First, she's going to use two key words, likely and probably. She says, late in her childhood, Pocahontas likely joined Powhatan's large, busy household where everybody worked. Then, later on, she says Pocahontas, meanwhile, probably participated in what was traditionally women's work. She does not know these two things for sure. This is her educated inference. However, she is pretty sure, based on all the research that she's done, that this is what Pocahontas would have done. And so she uses the two key words likely and probably to indicate to the reader that she is making this educated inference. She's making this hypothesis. She's making this well-researched conjecture. And so by using these two keywords, what she's actually able to do is indicate to the reader that she's making the educated inference and thereby preserve the historical integrity of her writing. The second thing that Roundtree does whenever she makes this educated inference is she pairs it with verifiable historical facts. So let's look at the first one. She says Pocahontas likely joined Powhatan's large, busy household. So that's the educated inference. And then she says where everybody worked, even Powhatan himself. So she knows that for sure because she has found that in her research documents. Then she goes on to say, in addition to their daily jobs, members of the household labor to produce grand feasts on important occasions. Again, verifiable facts that she was able to prove from primary sources. Again, she doesn't know that for sure, but what she does know for sure is that within the Powhatan Empire, women farmed, they collected wild foods and firewood, they made utensils, they cooked, they cleaned. Those are all things that she knows for sure. So by pairing her educated inference with this well-researched, verifiable historical facts, she's able to actually bolster the overall story that she's able to tell about Pocahontas and provide us this really well-rounded picture of what Pocahontas' childhood was like, and thereby give the reader an answer to an unanswerable question. Let's look at how a few other historians make an educated inference in their writing. So where in your writing do you have this unanswerable question? It's the thing that if you had to choose, you would have to leave it out of your writing at this point in time. Where can you instead use some keywords to indicate to the reader that you're going to make an educated inference, and then pair that educated guess, that conjecture, with the verifiable historical facts of things that you already know? Where can you say, I think this happened, but without using the words I think? Thanks so much for watching. We can't wait to see you next time on Mini Moves for Writers.